The stories that affect you. This is Inside KELOLAND.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Perry Groten. On today's Inside KELOLAND, we're taking a look back at some of the top positive stories of the past year. Coming up this half hour, we'll show you the uplifting stories that brought national attention and the stories of young people making a difference in their communities. We'll also look at some milestone anniversaries celebrated in 2024 and how a nonprofit is making an impact, one haircut at a time. Not once, but twice, a story from right here in KELOLAND was featured on CBS Morning's Beg Knows America series. Most recently, it was a holiday tradition in southeastern South Dakota. KELOLAND's Kelly Volk talks with the storyteller who's bringing the tradition of the Nora store to households across the country.
Mike Pedersen started inviting carolers into this former country store 35 years ago. In fact, KELOLAND has brought viewers inside the Nora store several times. Pedersen plays Christmas tunes on the pipe organ while the audience sings along. Rob Munson brought his family here for the first time in 2015.
Mike is just such a down-to-earth guy, and he doesn't do any of this for himself. This is for everybody else.
But Munson wanted more people to know about this holiday gem and the man behind it. After years of trying to get national coverage, Munson reached out to CBS News contributor David Begnaud. It worked.
This was my favorite Christmas story I've done in 25 years of journalism. It was like a warm hug. It was comfort food for the soul.
But the nearly 5-minute story is more than just a cute Christmas tale.
There's something deeply meaningful about what Mike Pedersen has done for his community for the last 30 plus years. Deeply meaningful. We're talking about he's created holiday memories for families that will be a part of their families for generations. That is a public service that man is doing.
Perhaps this story from rural South Dakota will resonate with people all over the map.
I hope people take away from this story that we are more united than we are divided, and that there's more good news on the news than people like to admit.
And some of that good news is being shared thanks to a man with a story idea.
This was just one story I thought had to be told to a bigger audience.
And submitted the story idea to Begnaud. He included a link to a story his son did on the Nora store as a college assignment. Begnaud says that story from 2016 is what hooked him, and he included part of it in his story that aired on CBS. Over the summer, it was a young Sioux Falls artist taking the spotlight. He was originally featured on the CBS Morning Show and also on KELOLAND News after getting fined for painting graffiti along the city's bike path. In an update on 18-year-old Jaden Bruns, KELOLAND's Don Jorgensen explains how the teen is now doing things he never dreamed possible.
18-year-old artist Jaden Bruns is walking the halls of the Laura B. Anderson Elementary School, not to attend class, but to finish this mural.
So I'm doing this painting for the school, for the kids, to brighten up the school a little more.
The school hired him to paint this large mural after his story aired nationwide as part of CBS Morning's series Beg Knows America, hosted by national correspondent David Begnaud. It's the school's motto: be safe, be engaged, and be respectful. If you remember, Jaden broke the law with this graffiti earlier this year along the bike path. But instead of getting mad, the mayor commissioned Jaden to do a piece of artwork for his office to help him pay his fine. Jaden says that's when his life really began to change.
Oh, it's been pushing everything. I without this story, I don't know where I'd be. I probably have like a couple jobs, but nothing close to where I'm at right now.
Jaden has been hired to do other murals, but he just returned home from California where a woman hired him to help with a book.
I'm gonna be illustrating for it's a kid's book about a dog, and I went there, met the dog. Such a good dog. He's so cute, so nice. Really excited to be a part of that.
His mom says Jaden has changed a lot since the story first aired.
Well, first of all, he's had paid jobs. That's the biggest thing.
She says Jaden has always been a hard worker, but now that he's painting murals and getting paid for it, It's what the family loves to see.
And one of the main goals for our long term is that every person in our family is doing work that they love. And it's just, Jaden's only 18.
Jaden says the whole ordeal that started as a negative has turned up all positive.
It doesn't feel like a job. It feels like I'm just doing what I like and I'm getting paid for it, so that's good.
Now, Jaden says he also completed his 50 hours of community service by doing a painting for Feeding South Dakota. A Sioux Falls art teacher found inspiration from the interaction between the mayor and the teenage artist. After the school district hired Bruns to paint the mural, an art teacher had students do a wall mural of their own.
Some of our kids think they're too cool for it, but that graffiti, they like really got into that. But we did talk about how you want permission before we draw on walls.
The art teacher says Jaden's story of redemption is a valuable lesson for kids looking for a second chance. This summer also brought a new opportunity for artists in Mitchell. The Mitchell Area Council of the Arts opened an art alley, which they call Creative Way. The space could bring more traffic to Mitchell's historic downtown.
Hopefully people will come here and see it and really want to take part and participate in it so that they can get into it and maybe see what they can add and come back over and over again to see what has been added to it.
Before you start painting, you'll need to fill out a permit. You can apply free of charge online. A piece of art captured the attention of the leader of Augustana University. Kelly Volk introduces us to the artist and what it means to have a piece placed in the president's office.
From a pink flower to a colorful unicorn, there's a lot of art to see on the walls of the campus clinic in Solberg Hall at Augustana University. The painter behind these prints is 25-year-old Riley Amato.
I'm proud.
Amato is an Augie Access student. The post-secondary program is for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Riley's parents say her passion for art started at a young age.
It's really fun to watch her do the work. She's extremely detailed and sees things that we would miss. And she just brings everything out in her paintings.
We're really proud of her. We've always known that she's had a good talent, and it's kind of nice for her to get that recognition now.
Now, one of her paintings will hang in a different area of campus, the president's office. The inspiration behind the work? Ace the Augie Doggy.
He's our ambassador of goodwill and support for our students on campus.
As part of her Augie Access internship, Riley painted a picture of Ace. When Chief of Staff Pamela Miller saw it for the first time, it made her emotional.
I did. I cried. It was so beautiful and so well done.
And it's so detailed, it even caught Ace's eye. As people admire Riley's collection of art, she has even bigger plans for the future.
I would like to start a business and sell my art.
Now, Riley's parents says she has sold several paintings. We're going to be taking a quick break, and when we come back, how kids of all ages are making their community a better place. You're watching a special Positively Inside KELOLAND. Welcome back. The positive actions of young people stood out in 2024. This fall, we introduced you to 6-year-old Sioux Falls girl who opened up her own pumpkin stand. But instead of pocketing all the profits, she donated most of the sales to help others. Here's Piper's pumpkin stand. Few customers can resist the sales pitch from this earnest little entrepreneur.
My name is Piper I'm in first grade and I'm raising money for my school.
Piper's pumpkin stand is selling produce plucked from her grandparents' pumpkin patch in Olivet.
It looks like a squash and a gourd and a pelican.
Some of Piper's younger clients are stumped by her inventory.
It's a pickle! A pickle!
A pickle!
A pickle!
Little brother Owen helps out at the pumpkin stand, but he's more interested in the free treats.
Hide suckers from him.
Enjoy your pumpkins and your lemonade.
Sales have been strong, with dollar donations of varying amounts.
Sometimes it's 8, sometimes it's 7, sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 1.
Piper attends Sonia Sotomayor Elementary and has earmarked some of those donations to help a classmate who's battling cancer.
He's in a wheelchair and he's too sick to walk.
Other donations collected at the pumpkin stand will help her classmates in the school lunchroom.
I'm gonna give the money to the kids that can't pay lunches.
This kind of generosity is just part of Piper's nature.
Piper is a spunky first grader. She has a huge heart of gold, and she always is thinking of others. When anything comes up, Piper wants to help other people.
It's a tiny one.
A bountiful Halloween harvest of compassion, courtesy of Piper's pumpkin stand. Piper has also donated some pumpkins to her classmates. A pop of red, white, and blue filled a Sioux Falls Park on Veterans Day. The temporary addition was one young girl's mission to recognize and honor veterans. KELOLAND's Carly Phillips tells us why it's important to her.
It started with an ad.
We actually saw on TikTok,
which led to an online fundraiser that's raised more than $1,500 for the Disabled American Veterans Charity Organization.
Yeah.
Which takes us
okay, right in there
to today.
That's good.
As 8-year-old Lorelei Onbaugh fulfilled her birthday wish of setting up her own field of flags to honor veterans, including her late grandpa. For every $250 raised, Lorelei received 24 flags.
As an 8-year-old girl, I mean, that's just amazing. The work that her family has done, the legacy they've left for her grandpa is amazing. I mean, he's living on through this and through Lorelei today, which is just incredible.
One flag turned into 2, and finally 144 lining the park.
One of them actually, part of the bottom broke off. So we used that piece to make a hole. Then we would just put the flags in the hole it made and tap them down in the ground.
Lorelei's recognition of others is receiving some recognition of its own. Lorelei's other grandpa was a veteran and received 2 challenge coins for his service in the military. Today, Lorelei was awarded 2 challenge coins of her own for her work of recognizing veterans.
The first one I gave her was from our national office. They actually shipped it to me from Kentucky to give to her, and then I also have my own coins as a state commander for DAV, and I gave her one of my coins too.
Challenge coins are usually given to military members who display exceptional performance. But Lorelei's handfuls of flags and patriotism show that wholeheartedly.
It's going to be waving like the American flag.
In Sioux Falls, Carly Phillips, KELOLAND News.
The money raised will support sick and injured veterans across South Dakota. 2 statues of dogs now stand outside the Mitchell Fire Department, and the determined 9-year-old girl who helped get them was there to help put the statues in place. We introduced you to Lakin and her mom back in July. She wanted the people to remember how well the dogs served Mitchell.
Remind people of the fire dog and how it just served very good in Mitchell and how they help a lot. So I just thought that would be a good sign for everyone to see when they drove by.
I just think it's really, really cool that she didn't forget. She came right home. She wrote that letter all by herself. She mailed it by herself, and now look. She has $1,649.26.
The Dalmatian and German Shepherd statues are called Sparky and Tommy. Well, sometimes even the smallest of voices can be an inspiration for others, and that was on display at Sonia Sotomayor Elementary in Sioux Falls. A first-grade boy is the reason many students dressed up in their best for class. KELOLAND's Lauren Solik has the story.
You probably aren't used to seeing elementary kids in dresses and suits for class, unless, of course, it's Dapper Day at Sonia Sotomayor. This special day of stylish students all started because of one 7-year-old, Louis Lemke.
He dresses up every day and it's super cute. We love him.
Over the summer, Louis's aunt gifted him 3 sports coats, and ever since then, it's been Dapper Day almost every day for Louis. His book bag is even a briefcase.
Why did you want to start dressing up to school? Because it made me feel good.
And that's a feeling he wanted all of the students to feel.
So Louis shared with me, when you dress your best, you feel your best. And when you feel your best, you do your best. And I thought, what a great concept. And so I took the idea to our 5th grade leadership team. Many of them already knew who Louis was in our school. And they absolutely said, yes, let's do a Dapper Day.
Maybe it is true that you feel better when you're dressed up.
I think it's really cool that all of us are dressing up and celebrating together, having fun together.
It's just so fun. Everybody's so excited. You see a different little spring in their step when they're dressed up, and it's just been really fun to do this and to honor the idea that was brought to us by Louis.
With Positively KELOLAND, I'm Lauren Zolik.
Principal Veek says she's already heard from students who'd like to do more for Dapper Days at school. And as for Louis, he'll probably keep dressing up because he says he's collected a lot of accessories for his suits. But coming up after the break, celebrating milestones. We take a look at some key anniversaries this past year, including the decades of memories at Skate City. Welcome back to a special Inside KELOLAND with some of our top positive stories from 2024. This year, an organization dedicated to helping kids marked a milestone. The South Sioux Falls Kiwanis Club is celebrating 70 years. The club has raised more than $1 million over the decades and uses the money to help fund projects at nearly 24 local nonprofits.
These people have a heart for serving people, and especially kids. Being a father myself, it's welcoming to know people that care about these kids.
We're all called to serve somewhere, someone, and if you can do it in community, why not? I mean, it's a given.
The organization hopes to add new members and encourages younger professionals to step up and serve. A roller skating rink in Sioux Falls also celebrated a milestone, turning 50 years old in September. Kelly Vogt takes us back in time to its earliest days.
From the neon sign to the disco ball to the smell of cotton candy, there's a wave of nostalgia when you roll into Skate City. The Sioux Falls roller skating rink opened in 1974.
I think a lot of parents were really happy on a Friday night to drop their teens off for a while and have maybe some peace and quiet or do something on their own.
Ann Erickson and her then-husband Chris own the rink with Ann's parents. Back then, skaters knew it as carousel skate. Friday nights turned into controlled chaos as skaters flocked to the rink.
It was crazy. Look back at it now, I mean, some of those nights were stressful, but we had so many good customers and people that we got to know through the years that we really looked forward to it. But it was always nice when Friday night was over.
After owning the rink for over 40 years, the Ericksons sold it to Kevin Curtis in 2015. It's now called Skate City.
I'm as happy as they are that things worked out and that we can carry on this rink because, you know, obviously I'm in the roller skating business and I want to see kids learn to roller skate and that's the fun of the business. And as they grow up, they're kids, so we see generations of skaters, which makes it kind of cool.
Today, Friday nights are still buzzing. School parties also draw big crowds. Nathan Carter started skating at this rink about 10 years ago.
Got into it as a kid and I just never fell off from it. It's the one thing that I can kind of, I guess, empty my mind and just kind of do my own thing.
Kevin isn't sure if there is a secret to keeping a roller rink alive for 50 years, other than the joy of skating.
I think it's a fun family entertainment.
While it's easy to add up the 50 years that have gone by since the rink opened, the memories are countless.
When I run into people out in public, they say that they have fond memories of it. And it's so nice to see the generation after generation coming in.
In Sioux Falls, Kelly Volk, KELOLAND News.
And coming up next, a simple haircut can go a long way for kids. Now, one organization is stepping up to provide cuts for kids who wouldn't otherwise be able to afford them. You're watching a special Positively Inside KELOLAND. Welcome back as we wrap up our top positive stories of 2024. A fresh haircut is a way of making anyone feel confident and ready to take on the world. That's why one local nonprofit is helping more people have that fresh cut feeling. KELOLAND's Lauren Solik has the story.
This is Jamarcus, a 15-year-old boy from Sioux Falls who, until recently, had never had his hair cut. But then he met Terry Liggins with the Hurdo Life Coach Foundation and volunteer Courtney Hardy.
Courtney has a way about seizing opportunities to be generous and compassionate towards people. And we were talking and she was like, offered to cut Jamarcus's hair.
I was like, Jamarcus, you want a haircut? And he goes, yeah. And then later he's bugging Terry about, when are we gonna do it? When are we gonna do it?
Finally, the day came. Hair that had been growing for 15 years fell to the floor, and eventually a transformed Jamarcus was looking in the mirror.
He says, yes, sir.
You can see the difference when you take the before and after pictures of his smile. It got a little bit bigger, and so that's what it was about.
In those moments, Liggins was inspired.
I said, I want to do this for 100 more youth.
So he set up the fundraiser.
Welcome back as we wrap up our top positive stories of 2024. A fresh haircut is a way of making anyone feel confident and ready to take on the world. That's why one local nonprofit is helping more people have that fresh cut feeling. KELOLAND's Lauren Solik has the story.
This is Jamarcus, a 15-year-old boy from Sioux Falls who, until recently, had never had his hair cut. But then he met Terry Liggins with the Hurdo Life Coach Foundation and volunteer Courtney Hardy.
Courtney has a way about seizing opportunities to be generous and compassionate towards people. And we were talking and she was like, offered to cut Jamarcus's hair.
I was like, Jamarcus, you want a haircut? And he goes, yeah. And then later he's bugging Terry about, when are we gonna do it? When are we gonna do it?
Finally, the day came. Hair that had been growing for 15 years fell to the floor, and eventually a transformed Jamarcus was looking in the mirror.
He says, yes, sir.
You can see the difference when you take the before and after pictures of his smile. It got a little bit bigger, and so that's what it was about.
In those moments, Liggins was inspired.
I said, I want to do this for 100 more youth.
So he set up the fundraiser Cuts for Kids with a goal of raising $2,500.
And you know, I think back on my own experiences growing up in a single parent home and the challenges it was for my mother to afford a haircut. When you are living in poverty, when you are working multiple jobs and still barely making your bills, there's a lot of things that go by the wayside and you're not able to do for your children. Haircut sometimes is one of those things.
And a simple haircut can go a long way.
Well, you heard the saying, like, look good, feel good, do good, right? So I'm believing that you help a young person clean up their physical appearance. You're going to boost their esteem, you're going to boost their confidence, and they're going to show up in the classroom in a different way.
In Sioux Falls, Lauren Solik, KELOLAND News.
And that's all the time we have for today. We leave you with some special wildlife video from September captured by KELOLAND News chief photographer Kevin Kiergaard.